Okay. Who wants to go first? The outlier?
The outlier.
The outlier.
The person I would. The person.
You mean me?
The person I would expect to like this the least.
So you mean me?
Okay. Well then, fucking.
I can go first.
Please.
I really like this. I didn't even know what to expect really, because I don't even know much about the movie, but I just assumed, just based on the time period, it was just gonna be just a snooze fest or something.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that's my biggest fear with these kind of movies.
I was worried about that too my first time around, but carry on.
But no, it's just about Barry Lyndon and his life, and stuff just happens, and it works. There was never a moment in the movie where I was out of it. I feel like.
So you were glued to the screen.
I mean, I wasn't glued to the screen. I was all in for it.
He was all in.
I was all in, and then
all chips in. Love money.
But no, yeah. I can't remember what it's from. But people always say this movie is every shot looks like it's
A painting.
Could be a painting.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true. Super beautiful. And super nice locations.
Yeah.
Super nice sets.
The locations, the interiors.
Well shot.
Well shot.
It is well shot.
You can't take that away.
It is.
It's well shot.
It is well shot.
Got a lot of coverage.
They got a lot of coverage, yeah.
Too much.
Too much coverage?
No.
Oh shit.
Please, Mackenzie.
But let's see what else, if anything. That scene at the end, that last standoff was really great. And the music in this also is really good.
The thing about Kubrick movies that I like is that they never pick obvious pieces of music. Every piece of music in this movie is synonymous with this movie at this point.
Yeah, it's funny when we watched Nausicaa and we heard that tune, that bum bum. Me and Chris looked at each other and we were like, Barry Lyndon. It's so tied to this movie because this movie is so what it is.
Kubrick actually likes music, unlike a lot of directors who just play the same crap.
Schlock.
Yeah. That really gets to you.
It really bothers you.
You hate seeing the same songs recycled over and over and over in different medium.
I mean, it's the same thing of having the same formula of film being cycled over and over again.
I'm not gonna lie though, is every piece of music in this movie already an existing track?
So, the iconic
sure.
ones.
Because I thought that all of it was made for this movie. I
don't think so.
I didn't know they were.
The iconic parts are actual music that has existed for
Cool.
a long time.
That's cool. I didn't know.
They probably, I swear that, I don't know as well exactly what they took from, but I swear they did different variations of it for different scenes. You know what I mean? So they probably had their own orchestra make different variations depending on what the scene required.
For me, stuff like that doesn't really bother me though. If it's classical music or score and different things. Well, the only time it sticks out to me is whenever it's a licensed song over and over in the same in different movies.
When they played Wonderwall and Mommy.
I've never seen that in any other film.
But it's a thing where it's
I haven't seen Wonderwall in a different movie.
But the thing is, the thing about Wonderwall is that it's such an obvious song.
It's in Stalker.
And it's
Wonderwall's in Stalker?
Yeah.
And it's so overplayed just in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had never heard Wonderwall until that movie.
Are you serious?
Well, you listen to everything.
I do love music.
You do love music.
I don't
Wonderwall
was a big hit. I know that.
Yeah, it was a thing. It's it was on the radio all the time. You couldn't escape it.
I mean, I wasn't alive.
If it played something better Gangnam Style.
How you weren't alive during the 1980s, but ABBA's inescapable.
Sure.
You still hear it. You know what I mean? So it's the same deal with Wonderwall.
Anyways, talking about this movie. Any more thoughts, Mackenzie? So
where does it rank?
Talking about Kubrick. I always have seen Kubrick as a wild card. He is really able to make such amazing movies, but they're all so incredibly different from one another. You know what I mean? It's I think one of the biggest trademarks of this movie is that zoom back. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
It's so remarkable. It's done like several times, probably like 20, 30 times in this movie. And it's remarkable every time.
It's
like
never tiresome.
Never.
There's
no.
always so much intent behind it.
Yeah, and each one is like, different from the last. You know what I mean?
And it's such a thing where it's like that is such a simple technique, but just utilizing it the way he did, just literally just doing it a lot.
Exactly.
It's such a trademark of this film, like you said. Like,
well,
so what is the intent behind it? Purely as a.
Well, I mean, it's just like it's not really like a deep one. It's kind of simple. It's to show something and then expand out.
Yeah, exactly. And even honestly, it's like, it's less so like a thinky thing, but I feel like it's just something that's kind of interesting to think about is that typically when you do that with a camera, and I don't know what kind of film this was shot on, but the point is, when you do that with a camera,
Really?
when you zoom back, it kind of flattens the image and it brings away the depth of field, which sounds bad at first, because it's like, oh, well, that will eliminate how good a shot will look, but it doesn't do that here, and that is partially in part of what Mackenzie said, which is this idea that everything looks like a painting. It literally looks like a painting, you know what I mean? I think that was, in my opinion, that was an intentional thing. So not only is it like an amazing scene when it's like, it's so zoomed in on like somebody's hands or something like that, and then it slowly comes back, and as things come into frame, it just paints a bigger picture, literally, like bit by bit, until it finally stops, and you're just marveling at it, that's the thing. The filmmaking aspect of this is insane. I've been saying ever since I first saw this, if you want to learn how to light a movie or like take notes, watch this movie. It's insane. All the candlelight scenes, you know what I'm talking about, and it's just amazing. But the reason why I brought that up is like, okay, like this is like, that's kind of a unique style to this movie because you don't really see that necessarily in other Kubrick films. And Kubrick's like that a lot of the time. So knowing other Kubrick films and going into this, where does this, as Chris says, like, where does this rank? You said is pretty good, so.
You like 2001 more?
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Like Citizen Kane more?
I said that joke. But yeah, if you want, we can come back to you. Because I have a lot to say. Okay. Well, yeah, so this is one of the best movies ever made. And I think, I shared a little bit of my thoughts already of just how, like, marvelous this looks. And, like, it's just so consistent. Because that's the thing, right? Is, like, it's like this balance between fate and just sheer luck. Whether bad or good, it doesn't matter. Because Barry, or Redmond Barry, is like a guy that like started out like a poor farm kid, like left with nothing. His father's dead. His mother won't remarry to anyone rich, so they're left with what they have. And like how he gets to where he is, to the point where he becomes a gentleman, like he becomes like an actual higher up, like a person with a title.
Gentleman is title only though.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that's what he, like, leading up to that. It's insane. Because this man is kind of trying to become the master of his own fate. Like, he lies and he cheats and he steals. He does all these horrible things to get where he needs to get, right? But, all this shit happens to him.
Backstabs?
Well, no, all this shit that, he tries to control his fate, but it has other plans, It's like when his mother sends him off to I forget where, but somewhere in Ireland, and then those people rob him of everything. Yeah, Dublin, and they rob him of everything he has, and then he has to end up joining the army. And joining the army, he ends up, you see what I mean? Like, it's such an incredible, like, the way it progresses is amazing. It's like, it's such a great fucking story, and on top of that, it's executed in a manner that is so, like, pulling. This has such a gravitas to it. And maybe it's something as, it's just such a high production value that you can't help but just kind of, like, be in awe of it. Kind of like Metropolis, how Metropolis is just such a spectacle because it's like, how, what I mean? I kind of see it that way as well, where I just look at this and I'm like, it's incredible, It's just incredible what this achieved, and it's amazing how this, like I said, this is based off of a book, a novel. I can't remember if it's The Luck of Redmond Barry or The Luck of Mr. Lyndon. I can't remember.
Those are both pretty good titles.
Yeah, but the luck, yeah, exactly. The luck of somebody, obviously luck of him. But the point
I like those.
is like, it's amazing that Kubrick just, is able to take so much. I think I said this before even. Take so much from like one version of art, literature, and obviously adapt it into film. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, because from what I understand, I think the book and the movie are talking about this are a bit different. But obviously he just read it and he was inspired and he made a work of art. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, same thing with you, Mackenzie. It's just like this just has you. It's just from the opening shot. The opening shot of his dad and his dad dying.
Awesome.
I remember when I first watched this, I was like, this is gonna be great. Like I knew it was gonna be great, and it is. And like, yeah, even like that last duel thing, I'm sitting there just like, come on, like sitting there.
Tense.
Yeah, it like purposefully shut up. It purposefully
you were able to pick up
drags out. The guy's like, all right, you're going to shoot. Are you ready? Okay. Are you ready?
Purposely.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah,
real
shit
time.
messes up the shot. Yeah, it's just so... But even that was like a thing that
Really
goes with
exciting.
this idea of like...
What do you mean no editing?
Well, okay, no, like
skipping
no cuts
ahead
in
of time. Yeah, no cutting to the chase. It's
Yeah.
really, it's raw. Yeah, obviously there's editing, but
Yeah.
But also...
So I thought it went crazy. It was
but like
original.
adding...
It's pretty
but-
good. I made
but-
them in my head then.
But like adding to that last duel, that's the other thing about this idea of like fate and chance and all that, because he like his son fucked up. He fucked up just because that's what happens, and
happens.
he could have killed it. Well, it's actually not his son, but he could have killed him. Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Page rest.
But yeah, like Barry raises up his gun but then he shoots it into the ground because he decides like, no, I'm not going to do this. But that was his mistake. He had his fate in his hands, and he decided, and he let it go.
Yeah.
And then he went back to being pretty much a nobody. Like
exactly.
500 guinea a year.
The thing is, it's so much a nobody that even the narrator has no idea what he's doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just put in sheer insignificance.
All they know is that he hasn't been back to
Where was it?
I was gonna say Britain, England.
Was where they were.
Hasn't been back to England since. You know what I mean?
Awesome location.
He's not a good gambler anymore.
Yeah, no, and in my opinion, the first half, I know it's not actually the half of the movie, but the first chapter, but like, before the interlude is like, yeah, it's just it's just the story, it's just happening, like you said, it's just everything falls into place so perfectly. Everything that happens is just, it's amazing how it's structured. And the second half is where like the emotional stuff
It's
really
almost like
hits.
2 movies in one, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
The first movie's like a backstory, and then the second movie's like
The ending.
just about
Mhm.
kind of the monarch family and like how he got integrated in there when he wasn't supposed to be,
And
like, all
it
the
shows,
quarrels.
yeah, it shows how like he was never deserving of this in the first place, and it's sad, and like just but that's the thing, the realest thing that he actually develops is his son, his real son, Brian, and Brian.
Whenever they said Brian in a British accent, I couldn't help but think.
Brian,
Yeah.
Brian, yeah,
Stewie
Stewie
Griffin.
Griffin.
And,
But yeah, like Brian,
Those two.
he was a character that was just so innocent, and Barry, and like that's his child, that's the strongest connection he had at that point in his life, and for him to just die, it's like
It's
everything,
just chance.
it's just and it's just he found out about the horse, he disobeyed his dad, and he died because of it. You know what I mean? It's just so real. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is just like, this is the gravitas it has. It's like whether you want to look at it like on a technical level and see it as like, oh, just the filmmaking and everything that it does with like just the composition of all these shots and everything, it's remarkable. And if you want to even just break it down to just like the characters, like Barry is like really an interesting character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
He's
like
such a weasel.
exactly. He really is. Like
Scumbag.
An
he
opportunist.
is.
Scumbag.
He is. When he started like working for he got into the Prussian army, and he was hired to get rid of a fellow countryman. He undermined the Prussians and then got away free. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's a crazy fucking story, dude. He's the GOAT. He's an asshole, but he's the GOAT.
So you said a lot of the emotion is kind of in the second half of the movie.
I would
Do you
say
think
so.
Okay, obviously it's probably a yes, but everything with the character of Barry Lyndon, it all worked for you. Like you were like emotionally invested in him.
Yes.
And like you were like felt like, did you feel bad for the guy? Is my question.
Honestly, well, yeah, because okay, obviously I can look at it as a thing where it's like, okay, he's kind of an asshole, so maybe he kind of deserved this, like cheating all these people and not paying what he deserved, and stuff like that, like getting the justice he deserved. So yeah, but I was just so intrigued with everything that's happening, like I looked at this guy and I was like, how the hell is he doing it? But he's still like compassionate. You know what I mean? Like, think about the scene with the guy who was like a spy, like I keep wanting to say Scottish, not Scottish, Irish spy. The Irish spy.
The eye patch.
Yeah, it's like he's talking to him in German and he knows like, okay, like I'm supposed to like find out if this guy is a fucking spy or not.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And everything with him, I would say, yeah, all that scene where he breaks down.
Exactly.
Crying, that one is, I felt for him in that situation.
Exactly.
It felt very emotional and it all worked. But for me, in the second half of the movie, I couldn't care less about what happened to him. Like I didn't feel for him at all. Mm-hmm. If anything, this is what happens to you. So I don't know if it I don't know if it worked for me at that point because I didn't really care. But by the second half, it's like presenting. Because I loved the first half of this movie.
Mm-hmm. I was so into like how this was gonna end up, how his fate would fall on him. It's not like I was like, oh my gosh, Barry, I love you. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It was more.
It was
so
just
like,
intriguing.
But also even that, I kind of already knew where it was going.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's like, well, I know what's gonna happen. This is the classic tale of, you start from nothing, get everything, and then you're back to zero. Not that that can't be done or shouldn't be done, or like not that I'm saying that that's like bad. Just for me, I was like, okay, well, man, here we go. Here's the downfall.
I mean, maybe I haven't seen many movies of that fashion, but I've never seen one done quite like this.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, for me, it's like what you say, like, you don't mind cliches if they're done effectively, and this movie is like, I wouldn't exactly call it cliche. I mean, it damn right tells you the fall of Barry Lyndon.
It does, yeah. It tells you right from the beginning.
So it's not like there was anything
like trying to shock you. Yeah, it's not trying to shock you. It's being actually pretty matter of fact, and so it's just tragic.
More about technique than anything.
And I think, I think it was done so well. Like, come on, man. No, it's a good one.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to say like it's bad or anything.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Not that. I'm just because I guess for me, it goes back to the thing where we've all talked about this, and I think for me it goes back to technique only takes it so far for me. You know what I mean? And yeah, this is pretty incredible on that level. Everything that we talked about. I mean, the scale of it all, the amount of I guess globetrotting that we kind of that we take. It's such a on a story level. It takes you from tiny little houses to holy shit, we're in this incredible looking England manor. A lot of the actual shot choices, a lot of the directing choices, it's so like he knew what he wanted, and he accomplished it in such a great manner. Like, this is a great looking film. For me, I guess just by the second half, I was like, well, it's like I understand even what the story is kind of supposed to be about. Like you said, the story it even tells you, but it's like, okay, well, no, I mean, I know where we're going and I know what's gonna happen. And at this point, I loved Barry and his shenanigans. I thought he was like you said, a weasel, a complete weasel, a complete piece of shit. And I was like, man, I'm having so much fun watching this guy. And then when he gets it all, it's like, okay, I know like now here we go. And then,
it was the thing where there was just so many unexpected twists and turns, like the whole thing with the Macaulay Culkin, you know what I mean? Like that whole character and the inclusion and the conflict with that is all interesting.
Well, that was my favorite part of the second half of the movie.
And then like the wife just being completely like Barry just being completely negligent towards her. And
that scene where she's breaking down. That's a great scene. I love that sequence.
There's just so much stuff in the second half that I feel is just like, and then the whole thing with Brian dying. You know what I mean? It just comes out of nowhere. So I think that the second half just has a lot of conflict as well. It's less of like the first half is kind of like an adventure film, and then the second half is more of a drama almost. At least that's how I piece it together.
Love the writing in this as well. I know it's based off a book, but still.
I think the dialogue is awesome.
Oh, it's great. It's so great.
Well, it's so funny. The first half of the movie is fucking hilarious.
It really is.
Kubrick is legitimately a fucking comedian at this point.
So eloquent. Like it's just great. But yeah, My thoughts on this are probably just the exact same. Like, I think this is just a thing where I just love this movie. You know, I don't think my opinion of it has changed much at all. I think it's remarkable. I think it's his best by far. I just, I would love to rewatch something like Eyes Wide Shut. Chris, is that still your favorite?
I honestly think I might like this more.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, this is such an amazing movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what's interesting is that there's a Letterboxd review about this where somebody says like, "Oh, I've taken my mom to see a lot of Kubrick movies. It's like she fell asleep in 2001. She hated The Shining. Mm-hmm. She thought, makes sense. She thought, what's it called? Not Clockwork. Maybe Clockwork. Whatever. She said like another Barry Lyndon film. Another Stanley Kubrick film was just like atrocious, and she just walked out of it in the theater. You know, like she just didn't like it.
Probably Lolita.
But she said that like the guy said that his mother was just completely entranced with every moment of Barry Lyndon. Yeah, and like that also just adds to Stanley Kubrick's just. Rep, his reputation, which is he has a movie for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you don't have to be in love with every movie the man has ever made, but like odds are there's at least one movie made that you will like really enjoy.
I would agree with that.
I think it's true. Yeah. Maybe there might be someone out there that likes nothing but Paths of Glory. You know what I mean? Who knows? It sounds weird, but maybe it's true. I feel like just dude makes all kinds of movies. But made all kinds of movies. So yeah, all in all, overall, this is one of the best movies ever made. It's still like a top 12. It's a top 12 film. 12. Yeah, because I got 12 10s. So this is a 10 out of 10. This is one of the best movies ever made. Yeah, one of, and I love it. Oh, those are my thoughts.
Carlos, you kind of explained a little bit.
Yeah, no,
it's mid.
It's pretty mid. Talking about the second half of the movie, I'll try to condense my thoughts quickly because I know I'm trying to get out of here. Because I can only really pull up certain scenes. Second half, when the whole confrontation between Macaulay Culkin, I'm calling it that because you called him that. That's pretty fucking funny. Macaulay Culkin and him when he walks in with his son.
It's literally him.
When he walks in with his son, clinking his shoes. That whole scene is great. So man, do I love when he starts using the shaky cam. Because it feels kind of jarring at first, but it feels completely warranted, and it feels completely in the scene. Jesus, when Barry Lyndon gets out of his seat, it's like fucking wailing.
Yeah,
it's like you can see like all the chips are falling down. Everything you were building toward what you wanted, your lordship, you wanted everything. It's all gone now.
Yeah,
this whole altercation, this whole little fiasco has just cost you everything. And even if at that point Macaulay probably orchestrated it in the way where he knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. We're like, all I need is him to snap, and that will make everything. Mm. It'll break everything. And then the character of his wife or the mom. I'm so bad with names.
I never even know her name.
They say her name.
Did they just say Lady Lyndon?
Lady Lyndon. Her
name starts with an H.
That was her portrayal of it. I thought she was great.
She was great. Small part, but
small part, but she does so much with that role. Because like she gets introduced in like the last half of the movie, or like 30
literally
minutes.
Yeah. Like he meets her, and then interlude comes, and then they're married.
But no, she conveys so much emotion through her just expressions, her eyes.
Oh yeah.
Her breaking down, which I thought was so funny because it reminded me of like Possession.
It did.
And I was like, oh no,
I literally thought the same thing.
Because it was like, oh god, she's yelling, but then thank God the narrator came back.
Yeah, he was like, oh, anyways. No. Carlos, I was going to say, commenting on what you said about the shaky cam thing, it honestly also does go, I know like Kubrick's done it before, but it also really mixes well with the atmosphere, because you think about it, this culture of like how England was, the United Kingdom.
Of snobby, pompous white people.
Well, yeah, and it's just like back then, like they were meant to be, there's this thing that people have commented on it saying like, oh, this like, about this movie, there's moments where there's like this silent hatred of men. So like when the guy gets cheated in the card game, and like he stands up and he just says, I don't know how, but you cheated me, and they try to act very well spoken and stuff because they're gentlemen, they're supposed to, right? It's a part of the culture. And then, so yeah, when it breaks down to the point where they're literally fighting in the piano room and stuff like that, the shaky cam goes well, because most of the shots are pretty still, very specific movements and stuff like that. But once it goes shaky cam is when everything's going berserk. So like, it really...
it's very, very simple things.
Yeah.
That's like a classic technique.
Exactly,
But it's so well done here.
Exactly.
Mostly because a lot of the movies consist of a lot of wide shots, a lot of the zoom in.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of static shots. Even if the camera's moving, it's still on a steady cam.
Uh-huh.
And then when it probably breaks that for the couple scenes it does, it's like, oh shit. The scene where he was fighting that big guy, I love that. And also, everything feels so staged, but in a good way. Where like every time it cuts to a group of people, they're like they're all posing. They're all no, really.
It is. That's that was his intent.
And granted, a lot of it is because of the locations, but I still can't take anything away from the man. I'm not saying that it's like it shoots itself. Not at all. I can't say that.
I mean, the locations are already excellent. But
but man, some of those fields, those wide shots. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. I was thinking like, god damn.
And sometimes like the fog and like
the sunsets, the
skies
actual
are great.
And also like seeing outside at night was beautiful for that one sunset. I was like, holy shit. Towards the end.
Exactly.
And then everything like you were saying, all natural lighting with the candlelight looks so good on this film. I'm guessing it was probably 35 millimeter. But that's just my take on it. But for me, I was loving the first half of this. I still think the second half is good. I guess just everything after that intermission, I was like, well, I see where we're going, and even though, the movie flat out tells you, I'm still like, well, at this point for me, it's like, I'm going through the motions. And overall, I had a really great time with this. I mean, from the Kubricks I've seen, there are other ones that I like more.
Which one?
All of them.
Shining, 2001.
Lolita, this.
I like The Shining, 2001, and Doctor Strange a little more.
Fourth favorite Kubrick? Third?
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Okay.
Probably standing at a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, all right.
No, I can't. I don't, going lower to 3.5 would be too low.
Yeah.
And then going higher than a 8 would be lying to myself.
No, it's just cool because I really did think you were gonna like this movie, and I'm just glad that you did.
No, I do. I really dug it. Like I don't want the second. I know like you guys are praising it, so that might be why it's coming across.
Fine. No, yeah.
Or even if it's all bits and it's all bits, but if it's coming across like I'm hating on the second half, I'm not.
Chris, this might be better than Eyes Wide.
Probably.
I think it is, and by significance.
What about
but
Mackenzie? What does he think? We said we were gonna
probably.
Get back to him.
I mean, he said he really liked it, but he loves Eyes Wide Shut. So, what did you think, Mac? What did you think about like ranking wise? Not as good as Full Metal.
Wrong.
Yeah, I got Eyes Wide Shut #1,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You just like it because it reminds you of David Lynch.
Carry on.
and then Hear This or Full Metal Jacket for the next one.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. This is. Wait a minute.
What?
Oh shit.
Students approved.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got to 11. I never thought.
I never thought this would be one. I thought that this guy would give it like a 2.5.
We have a Kubrick film, a Michael Haneke, a Alfonso Cuarón, Alejandro Jodorowsky, a Lynch, a Hayao Miyazaki, a Lars von Trier.
Wait, actually pretty cool looking at it that way.
Am I crazy? I feel like there was something else.
Is Possession?
Possession. So Zalewski.
Creep.
What am I forgetting?
Black Man.
Fuck, what was it? House. Whatever. House.
How?
I can't remember the other two, but yeah.
Damn,
anyways,
you got through all of them except for 2?
there's just 2 I can't remember right now for some reason. I don't know, but like no, will we ever have 2 movies by the same director on Stooges Approved? Probably not, right?
No.
Probably not.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Maybe with David Lynch. If you
Maybe
watch
Inland Empire. Yeah, that's the only shot. Otherwise,
what
no
about
way.
Haneke? Like, we could watch Ribbon.
I we need to watch more Haneke. Honestly,
We should watch Piano Teacher.
Piano
before when it
Teacher,
comes.
Cache.
But I think Cache, you'll like. I don't know about you.
Oh,
I think Piano Teacher, you'll like more than him. I don't know.
also Gaspar Noé, Under the Void.
Oh yeah,
that was
Void.
the 9th one, and then there's still 2 more.
But there will not be any other movie besides from another director.
Really?
I don't think so. Think about it. Like,
What about? Oh wait, shit. What about
The Boy and the Heron.
What?
I know.
Wait,
I know why you
why
said.
were you asking that? Like, weren't you asking that last night or 2 nights ago?
Will it be good?
Oh,
Was
Mishima.
that a genuine question?
Paul,
or-
Paul Schrader's Mishima.
No, I'm asking. Will it be good?
I think so. I think there's no way it's bad.
Miyazaki, like, he lost the fire in him. You know?
When did he miss?
Bro, The Wind Rises? Ponyo?
Did you watch that?
What the hell
All the
is
ones
the
he's
11?
made recently are bad.
Have you seen One
No,
Red?
I'm just
We'll
kidding.
I never saw
listing
One Red.
off.
I need to watch that one.
I'll watch it.
Ponyo's not bad. Ponyo's just
Ponyo's
cute.
stupid.
Ponyo's cute. What?
You just like him because he likes ham.
To her.
Ponyo? Oh. Ponyo, she, her. Sorry.
Shut up.
No! Matter of fact, I won't.
What the hell is the 11th film?
These go to 11.
I
Pull
don't
up the
know.
list at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, you lowered Annie Hall to 3.5, didn't you? Oh, you already you never have it at 4.
Never-
Not Alan.
Any more
Not
thoughts?
Alan.
Any more thoughts, anybody?
It's great. I never even really spoke my mind.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
You were
well,
trying
we,
to fucking
we,
instigate a fight over
yeah,
here.
we interrupted each other. Say your mind real quick. Or just-
no, this one, I love this one. It's incredible. Pretty much, you guys said everything that I would have said. Like the whole thing about like fate and chance kind of just being out of our control, and it's just up to life to take its course and determine that is so interesting. And then locations are amazing. You get a whole tour through Europe, so many different locations, so many different sequence of events. It's just an epic, you know. Like so, it's awesome. Really cool fight scenes. One of the scenes, just simple little techniques. Like I remember Carlos, I could tell he liked it. It was like the shot of the army through.
Through the hole, and then it zooms in, and then
the
it's like,
gun.
and then it's like Call of Duty for a second.
So cool, man. It's awesome. So yeah, no, I mean like, incredible story, incredible, like everything in this movie kind of fits together so well.
Yeah.
There was nothing out of place. No decision that I wouldn't have that I think was not well made. Just everything, you know what I mean? But not only that, it goes above your expectations and still manages to surprise you in so many different aspects. Like, yeah, no, this is one of the best. I think I'll be watching this one for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, amazing film. Kubrick's best film, I would probably say. I think he's a great director. I like most of his films. But yeah, no, this one's really good. I was gonna say, is Kubrick the most Stooges approved director?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, probably. Because I was gonna say Jodorowsky, but I mean, didn't we all at least enjoy Santa Sangre?
Yeah, we all liked it.
Yeah, but like it's not
It's not like we all love.
Yeah.
Well, we.
Oh, I give it a 4. I love that movie.
I give it a 4.
I think
it's us 3.
Yeah, I think it's really good, but it's not a 4 for me.
Yeah, and then there's I thought El Topo was great. El Topo.
No, that one's really good. Honestly,
I
like
took
his
a big nap during that.
his movies are really good, but it's just like the only one that's Holy Mountain for me. It's like that.
Yeah,
I think
that's
we
the
all.
pinnacle. Yeah.
We all love that one.
Wait.
I was gonna say, who else could it be? I mean, Lynch. I don't know.
It could be Lynch if I rewatch Blue Velvet and like it.
Yeah, but I did drop that to a 3.5. I still really like it, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to say with Lynch. I think Mulholland Drive's great, but a lot of his other movies, they're not as good as I first thought. I will say, but I still love most of them. I'll say. You know what I mean? It was just like it's just a thing where it's just like
Carlos,
really into him.
You'll really like Clockwork Orange when you rewatch
Oh
it.
yeah, no, you'll like that one. I love that one too.
Yeah, I think
that's third place for me.
Yeah, I genuinely think Kubrick. Maybe I mean it could just be because this is a 10, but I think Kubrick's on my Mount Rushmore. As basic as that sounds, I think he has to be just because.
No, he's great. I love him.
Yeah, and after I watch Jodorowsky's newer stuff like Dance of Reality and Endless Poetry, if those two are really good and great, I'll consider him the GOAT. I'll consider him my favorite director. I mean, maybe it's partially due because he made the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but also, I don't know. I mean, Santa Sangre and El Topo I think are fucking great. His weakest film I've seen is Fondo and Liz, and I still thought that was good, you know, so it's like...
Even then, like, that one's still pretty admirable.
Oh, yeah.
So what I was doing, I was like,
It's like, hey, I could see the
He's learning.
See if the style forming
Oh, yeah,
before my
big time.
eyes. There's hints of brilliance there.
Any more thoughts, anybody?
Carlos is wrong. No, wait, why do you?
You're putting
Thus concludes the Stooges. I mean, Barry Lyndon.